Thank you, Chair. Thank you for not forgetting. First of all, let me thank the speakers who found time, I believe, in their very tough schedule to come here and talk with us and express your views on one of the most important political and geopolitical issues at the time. It's EU and Russia relations. When I was starting my mission towards writing this report, I was told by many people who I met that it is indeed a mission impossible almost to define the EU-Russia relations in this, I'd say, a very volatile time. How can you do that, they said. You know, in 24 years we tried defining the EU-Russia relations, and it was almost impossible. How can you do that now? When just before the New Year, when there was a relative calm in Ukraine, there were talks beginning that EU should re-engage or critically re-engage with Russia and starting a new page in the relations. After the New Year, the pictures of a blown-up bus appeared, and the strategy was scratched. So how can you, in this situation, how can you define the strategy with EU and Russia? And indeed, it is a very difficult task. And the Minsk agreement that the chairman mentioned, and the first one and the second one, is a very good example on how EU approaches Russia. And this is actually a European way to find a rule of law approach, to sit down at the table and start talking things. But I think that we are in, I would say, two worlds apart. Where one world is about rule of law, about human rights, about freedom of speech, and another world has an absolute different set of instruments that it can use in any situation that it pleases. There is no need to mention many of things that generally define the mentioned worlds. I could say that one of the most interesting and important cases to this Parliament was the case of Ukrainian pilot Savchenko, where Russia can just seize a person from Ukrainian territory, imprison it, probably torture it, and we just have to sit there at the same table and be fine with it. I won't even mention the cases in WTO or generally the thing that it's most important to us, the land grab situation in Ukraine. For 24 years, we believed in the transformative power of Europe. We believe that we can bring Russia in, allowing the people-to-people contracts, business-to-business contracts, and somehow it will transform Russia. But the question is right now, whether did we manage, did we succeed, or did it work the other way? And somehow I believe that it was Russia who was transforming us. The latest news about the different party financing in several countries of Europe, corruption cases, abusing of freedom of speech and human rights abuses. Generally, this is what kind of we let it in, and now we are being the ones who are transformed. I was in one meeting a few months ago, and I was told by an EU official who said that we need to get Russia to the table no matter the cost. And I think that this is what defined the EU-Russia relations for a very long time. But my question to the official was, who sets the table? Because if you have an image in your mind, I have one where EU would set the table, sit at the table, and wait Russia to come and sit beside it. But I think that it's not the time where we do it. I think that we will always stand by the rule that we want to sit at the table. We want to find diplomatic solutions, and we want to use the rules that are set for us. But I think that this is the time where Russia has to set the table, and there where we decide whether we want to sit at it, at the conditions, if the conditions are met. So I think that it's the best time to start talking about the strategy of EU and Russia relations. It's not a mission impossible, it's the best time, and actually the only time where we really can define what we see in the future for EU-Russia relations. Thank you.